The Arizona sun beat down mercilessly on Tucson's south side, turning the asphalt into waves of shimmering heat that rose from the cracked pavement like ghosts. It was the kind of afternoon in late July when sensible people stayed indoors with their air conditioners running full blast, when even the lizards sought shade beneath the creosote bushes that dotted the desert landscape. The temperature had climbed past 108 degrees by 2 o'clock, and the weather forecast promised no relief. Madison Wright's small feet pounded against the scorching sidewalk as she ran, tears streaming down her flushed cheeks, mixing with the dust and grime that clung to her face. At 7 years old, she was small for her age, a wisp of a child with tangled brown hair that hung past her shoulders and hazel eyes that had seen far too much pain for someone so young. Her faded pink t-shirt, 2 sizes too big, hung loosely on her thin frame, and her bare feet were already blistering from the hot pavement. She'd been running for what felt like hours, but was probably only 15 minutes. Behind her, 3 blocks away, stood the small rental house on Flores Street, where she lived with her mother, Amanda Wright, and her mother's boyfriend, Brian Foster. The house that should have been a home, but had become a prison of fear and violence. Madison's breath came in ragged gasps as she rounded the corner onto Valencia Road, the main thoroughfare that cut through this working-class neighborhood. Her chest burned, her throat was dry as sandpaper, and her legs felt like they might give out at any moment. But she couldn't stop. She had to find help. She had to save her mama. The memory of what she'd witnessed 20 minutes earlier played on an endless loop in her mind. Brian's massive hand connecting with her mother's face, the sickening sound of the impact, her mother crumpling to the kitchen floor, blood trickling from her nose. And then Brian's voice, thick with rage and cheap whiskey, shouting words that made Madison's stomach twist with terror. "You worthless piece of trash! You think you can talk back to me? You think you're better than me?" Madison had been hiding in the hallway, frozen in fear, when her mother's eyes had found hers through the doorway. Even through the pain and terror, Amanda had managed to mouth a single word: run. So Madison had run. Out the back door, through the overgrown yard littered with broken toys and empty beer bottles, over the chain-link fence that separated their property from the alley, and into the maze of streets that made up their neighborhood. She ran without a destination, driven only by the primal need to find someone, anyone, who could help. Now, as she stumbled along Valencia Road, her vision blurring from tears and exhaustion, Madison scanned desperately for help. A police station, a fire department, a church, anything. But this stretch of road offered little hope. A closed-down laundromat, a liquor store with bars on the windows, a tire shop that looked abandoned, and a scattering of houses with drawn curtains and no trespassing signs. Then she saw it, Ray's Gas and Go, a weathered truck stop that serviced the long-haul drivers who passed through Tucson on their way to California or Texas. But it wasn't the gas station that caught her attention, it was the motorcycles. 19 of them, to be exact. Gleaming chrome and steel machines lined up in 2 neat rows near the air pump station. Harley-Davidsons mostly, with a few Indians and custom builds mixed in. Each bike was a work of art, lovingly maintained and personalized by its owner, and standing near them in various states of rest and conversation were the riders themselves. The Desert Riders Motorcycle Club. Madison had seen them before, rolling through the neighborhood in formation, their engines creating a thunder that made windows rattle and dogs bark. In a community where most outsiders meant trouble, the Desert Riders had earned a different kind of reputation. They organized toy drives at Christmas, escorted funeral processions for fallen veterans, and raised money for local children's hospitals. Madison's second-grade teacher, Mrs. Patricia Gonzalez, had once mentioned that her brother rode with them, and that they were good people who looked scary, but had hearts of gold. Madison hoped with every fiber of her being that Mrs. Gonzalez was right. She slowed her frantic pace as she approached the gas station, suddenly aware of how she must look. A barefoot, dirt-smudged little girl in oversized clothes, tears streaming down her face, approaching a group of tough-looking bikers. For a moment, doubt crept in. What if they couldn't help? What if they didn't care? What if they sent her away? But then she thought of her mother on that kitchen floor, and doubt transformed into determination. Logan Hayes was the first to notice her. At 42, Logan was the president of the Desert Riders MC, a position he'd held for the past 6 years. He stood 6'3" with a build that spoke of both natural strength and years of physical labor. His arms, visible beneath his sleeveless black t-shirt, were covered in tattoos that told the story of his life. A Marine Corps emblem on his right shoulder, dates and names that honored fallen brothers, and a single pink rose on his left forearm. A memorial to his daughter, Kayla, who had died in a car accident 8 years earlier at the age of 9. Logan's weathered face, tanned from countless hours on the road beneath the desert sun, was framed by a well-maintained beard that was more salt than pepper these days. His eyes, a striking blue-gray, missed very little. Years in the Marines, and then as a contractor for a local construction company, had taught him to read situations quickly and accurately. He had just finished checking the oil level on his 2018 Harley Street Glide when movement in his peripheral vision made him look up. What he saw made him instantly alert. A small child, clearly in distress, heading straight for the group. "Guys," he said quietly, his voice carrying the authority that made grown men listen. The conversations around him ceased immediately. 18 pairs of eyes turned to follow his gaze. Madison stopped about 10 feet away from the nearest bike, her body trembling from a combination of exhaustion, fear, and the adrenaline that was starting to wear off. The bikers formed an imposing semicircle, and for a heartbeat, she almost turned and ran again. But then one of them, the tall one with the gray-streaked beard and kind eyes, took a step forward and crouched down so he was closer to her eye level. "Hey there, sweetheart," Logan said gently, his voice a surprising contrast to his intimidating appearance. "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" The kindness in his voice broke something open in Madison. All the fear, all the terror, all the desperate hope came flooding out in a torrent of words. "Please, you have to help. He's hurting my mama. Brian is hurting her really bad, and there's blood, and she told me to run, and I don't know what to do, and please, 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 you have to help her." The words tumbled out in a rush, punctuated by sobs and gasps for air. Logan felt his chest tighten. He'd seen that look before, in the eyes of his own daughter, in the moments before the accident. Pure, helpless terror. "Okay, honey, okay, we're going to help," he said, his voice calm and steady even as his mind raced. He glanced over his shoulder at Vincent Carter, the club's vice president and his closest friend. Vincent, a 40-year-old former Army medic with sharp features and an analytical mind, was already moving closer, his expression grim. "What's your name, sweetheart?" Logan asked, keeping his attention on the child. Madison Wright." "Okay, Madison. I'm Logan, and these are my friends. We're going to help your mama, but I need you to take a deep breath and tell me where you live. Can you do that?" Madison nodded, hiccuping through her tears. "Flores Street, the blue house with the broken fence, number 847. Logan looked at Vincent, who was already pulling out his phone. "Call 911. Tell them we have a report of domestic violence in progress at 847 Flores Street. Tell them we're heading there now to secure the scene." Vincent nodded and stepped away, already dialing. Logan turned back to Madison. "How long ago did you leave your house, honey?" I don't know. I just ran and ran." "That's okay. You did the right thing, Madison. You were very brave." Logan stood and raised his voice so the entire club could hear him. "We've got a domestic violence situation 3 blocks from here. Child's mother is in immediate danger. Derek, Nathan, you're with me and Vincent. The rest of you, Spread the word to stay ready, but maintain position here until we assess the situation. If we need backup, I'll radio." Derek Johnson, the club's road captain and a stocky man of 38 with a shaved head and a background in private security, was already mounting his bike. Nathan Phillips, 51, a Vietnam veteran with more scars than he cared to count and a heart that couldn't ignore someone in need, was right behind him. "Wait," Madison said, her voice small but urgent. "I'll show you. I can take you there." Logan shook his head gently. "Honey, we need you to stay here where it's safe. Can you point us in the right direction?" "Please!" Madison's voice cracked. "I need to know she's okay. I need to see. Please don't make me wait here not knowing." Logan looked into those desperate hazel eyes and saw an echo of every time he'd wished he could have been there for his own daughter. He saw determination and love that belied her young age. He made a decision that went against every safety protocol he knew. "Derek, grab a spare helmet, small size." He looked down at Madison. "You ride with me, and you do exactly as I say. When we get there, you stay on the bike until I tell you it's safe. Understood?" Madison nodded so hard her whole body moved. "Yes, sir, thank you so much." 2 minutes later, 4 motorcycles roared out of Ray's Gas and Go, with Madison Wright holding tight to Logan Hayes' waist, her small arms wrapped around him like a lifeline. She directed them through the neighborhood, her voice barely audible over the rumble of the engines, pointing left at the corner, then right at the next street. As they turned onto Flores Street, Logan's trained eye took in the details: working-class homes in various states of repair, chain-link fences, a few kids playing in a yard with a sprinkler, an elderly woman watering plants who stared at the bikes with a mixture of curiosity and concern. And there, halfway down the block, the blue house with the broken fence and the number 847 barely visible on a weathered mailbox. What made Logan's blood run cold was the sound coming from inside the house. A man's voice, loud and venomous, punctuated by crashes and thuds. He parked his bike at the curb and turned to look at Madison. "You stay right here on this bike. Don't move until I come back for you, okay?" But Madison's face had gone pale, her eyes fixed on the house. Is she? "We're going to find out. Stay here. Vincent, stay with her." Vincent, who'd been right behind them, nodded and dismounted, positioning himself next to Madison. "We've got this, kiddo. Logan's the best at what he does." Logan, Derek, and Nathan approached the house with the practiced coordination of men who had worked together for years. The front door was slightly ajar, and the sounds of violence were unmistakable. Logan didn't bother with knocking. He pushed the door open and stepped inside, his presence immediately filling the small living room. The scene that greeted them was one Logan would never forget. The living room was a disaster. Furniture overturned, a lamp shattered on the floor, picture frames hanging crooked on walls that bore the marks of impacts. To the left, visible through an open doorway, was the kitchen, and on that kitchen floor was a woman in her early 30s, curled into a defensive position, her arms raised to protect her head. Standing over her was a man who matched the description of every coward Logan had ever encountered. Brian Foster was 35, with the kind of build that came from sporadic gym attendance and an inflated sense of his own strength. His face was flushed red with rage and alcohol, his eyes wild. His right hand was raised, ready to deliver another blow. "That's enough!" Logan's voice cut through the chaos like a blade, not shouted, but carrying a weight of authority that made Brian freeze mid-motion. Brian spun around, his expression shifting from rage to confusion to defensive anger in rapid succession. "Who the hell are you? This is my house. Get out!" "No." Logan took another step forward, and Derek and Nathan spread out to flank him, blocking any exit Brian might consider. "This ends now. Step away from her." For a moment, time seemed to suspend. Brian looked at the 3 imposing men in his living room, and Logan saw the calculation in his eyes, the assessment of whether he could fight, whether he could run, whether he could talk his way out. Then Brian made the mistake of glancing at Amanda on the floor, and something in his expression shifted to predatory possessiveness. "This is none of your business. That's my woman, and she needs to learn." He never finished the sentence. Logan closed the distance between them in 3 long strides, and his hand shot out to grip Brian's wrist with crushing force, stopping the raised fist from descending. "Your woman?" Logan's voice was deadly quiet. "Let me explain something to you. Real men don't hit women. Real men don't terrorize their families. Real men don't make children run barefoot through 108-degree heat, begging strangers for help." Brian tried to jerk his hand free, but Logan's grip was iron. "Let go of me. I'll call the cops. I'll have you arrested for breaking and entering." "The cops are already on their way." Vincent's voice came from the doorway, where he stood with his phone still in hand. "I told them we had a Good Samaritan situation. Dispatcher said they've been to this address 6 times in the past year." The color drained from Brian's face. For the first time, fear began to replace the rage. "Amanda, baby, tell them. Tell them this is all a misunderstanding. Tell them you're fine." All eyes turned to the woman on the kitchen floor. Amanda Wright slowly lowered her arms and looked up. Her face told the story of years of abuse, a fresh bruise blooming across her left cheek, a split lip that was still bleeding, older scars barely visible along her hairline. Her brown hair was disheveled, and her clothes, a simple t-shirt and jeans, were torn at the shoulder. But it was her eyes that struck Logan most. They weren't the vacant, defeated eyes he'd seen in some abuse victims. They were filled with a fierce, burning determination. Amanda Wright had reached her breaking point, and she was done. "No," she said, her voice hoarse but steady. "I'm not telling them anything except the truth. You hit me. You've been hitting me for 2 years, and today you promised you'd kill me. Today, my daughter had to run for her life to save me. I'm done, Brian. I'm done protecting you." The sound of sirens in the distance punctuated her words. Brian's expressions cycled through a rapid series of emotions: shock, betrayal, rage, and finally panic. He tried once more to pull free from Logan's grip, and when that failed, he lunged toward Amanda with his free hand. He didn't make it. Derek stepped in smoothly, his private security training evident in the economical way he caught Brian's arm and twisted it behind his back, forcing him face down onto the floor. Nathan was there a second later with zip ties from his pocket, a habit from his contracting days that proved useful now. "Don't move," Derek said calmly, his knee pressed firmly between Brian's shoulder blades. "You're done hurting people today." Logan released Brian's wrist and immediately moved to Amanda's side, crouching down to her level. "Ma'am, my name is Logan Hayes. Are you hurt anywhere other than what I can see? Do you need an ambulance?" Amanda shook her head, then winced at the movement. I don't think anything's broken, but Madison, where's Madison? Is she? She's safe. She's outside with one of my men. She's the bravest little girl I've ever met. She saved your life, ma'am." Tears began streaming down Amanda's face, mixing with the blood from her split lip. "I told her to run. I was so scared he'd hurt her too. He's never touched her before, but today I saw it in his eyes. He was going to..." She couldn't finish the sentence. Logan gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "It's okay, she's safe, you're both safe now, and he's never going to touch either of you again. I promise you that." The sirens grew louder, and moments later, 2 Tucson Police Department cruisers pulled up outside, lights flashing. Officers entered with hands on their holsters, but the scene that greeted them was already under control. Brian Foster was restrained on the floor, 3 large bikers standing guard over him, and a visibly injured woman being tended to with surprising gentleness by the club president. Officer Miguel Ramirez, a 15-year veteran who had responded to this address before, took in the situation with the practiced eye of someone who had seen it all. "Mr. Hayes," he said, recognizing Logan from previous community events. "Want to tell me what happened here?" Before Logan could respond, a small figure shot through the door, having slipped past Vincent in the commotion. "Mama!" Madison ran to her mother, and Amanda opened her arms just in time to catch her daughter in a desperate embrace. They clung to each other on that kitchen floor, both crying, both trembling, both alive and together. Officer Ramirez's expression softened, then hardened as he looked down at Brian Foster. "I think I can piece together what happened here," he said quietly. "Derek, you can let him up. We'll take it from here." As Brian was hauled to his feet and read his rights, he tried one last time to control the narrative. "This is garbage. These thugs broke into my house. They assaulted me. I want them arrested." Officer Ramirez's partner, Officer Jennifer Wu, a tough-as-nails former Marine herself, actually laughed. "Mr. Foster, you have the right to remain silent. I suggest you exercise that right, because every word out of your mouth is just making this worse for you. We have a witness who saw you strike Ms. Wright multiple times. We have physical evidence of assault. We have your own daughter's testimony about running for help. And we have 6 prior reports of domestic disturbance at this address. You're going to jail, and if you're smart, you'll call a lawyer instead of digging yourself deeper." As Brian was led away in handcuffs, still protesting his innocence, an ambulance arrived. The EMTs, a young woman named Rachel Torres and an older man named James Bishop, entered with their equipment and immediately began assessing Amanda. "Ma'am, we need to check you out," Rachel said gently. "Can you tell me where it hurts?" But Amanda wouldn't let go of Madison. "Please, can I hold my daughter for one more minute? I need to hold her." Rachel exchanged a glance with her partner, then nodded. "1 minute, then we really need to examine you." Logan backed away to give them space, and Vincent appeared at his elbow. "Police want a statement from you and the guys. Also, the rest of the club heard about what happened. They want to know if we need backup. Tell them the immediate danger has passed, but we're going to need to set up a support system for this family. Find out where they have to go from here. I doubt they can stay in this house. Already on it. I called Teresa. Teresa Blackwood was Vincent's wife and a social worker with the county's Child Protective Services. While CPS often had a complicated relationship with families, Teresa was one of the good ones, someone who actually fought to keep families together when possible. Logan glanced back at Amanda and Madison, still holding each other. Good thinking. Over the next hour, statements were taken, evidence was photographed, and the wheels of the justice system began to turn. Logan learned that Amanda had been in a relationship with Brian for 3 years, married to him for 18 months. He learned that she worked 2 jobs, as a daytime cashier at a grocery store and an evening waitress at a diner, to support the household while Brian drifted from one part-time gig to another, spending most of his time and their money at a local bar. He learned that Amanda had tried to leave twice before, but Brian had found her both times and convinced her to come back with a mixture of apologies, promises, and veiled threats. He learned that she had no family in Arizona. Her parents were deceased, and her only sibling, a brother named Michael Wright, lived in North Carolina with his own family. He learned that Madison was a bright, quiet child who loved to read and whose teacher, Mrs. Gonzalez, had noticed bruises on Amanda during parent-teacher conferences, but had been told they were from clumsiness. And he learned that today had been the breaking point, because Brian, drunk and enraged by losing his latest job, had threatened not just Amanda but Madison as well, had said he would teach that little brat a lesson about respect after he was done with her mother. That was when Amanda had made her choice. That was when she'd looked at her daughter and mouthed the word, "Run." As evening approached and the desert heat finally began to release its grip on the day, Amanda and Madison sat on the back of the ambulance. Rachel had determined that while Amanda had significant bruising and needed to be monitored for a possible concussion, nothing appeared to be broken. Madison, aside from blistered feet from her desperate run, was physically unharmed. But the emotional wounds were another story entirely. "Ms. Right," Officer Ramirez said, approaching with a female detective named Laura Simmons. "We need to discuss what happens next. Mr. Foster has been arrested and charged with aggravated domestic violence and assault. Given the severity of the charges and his prior history, the judge is likely to set a high bail, but we need to talk about your living situation." Amanda's face, which had started to regain some color, went pale again. "The house. I can't go back there, can I? It's technically a crime scene right now, so no, but even after it's released, I wouldn't recommend it. Do you have somewhere you can stay? Family? Friends?" Amanda's eyes filled with tears again. No. Brian isolated me from my friends. He didn't like me having anyone to talk to. And my family?" She trailed off, the hopelessness of her situation settling over her like a weight. That was when Logan stepped forward. "She can stay at Mercy House." Everyone turned to look at him. Detective Simmons raised an eyebrow. "The women's shelter? Do they have space?" "I'll make sure they have space," Logan said firmly. Then to Amanda, "Mercy House is a women's shelter that specializes in domestic violence situations. It's secure, confidential, and they have counselors on staff. They can help you figure out the next steps: legal protection, housing assistance, job resources if you need them. And most importantly, Brian won't be able to find you there." Amanda looked at this rough-looking stranger who had burst into her life and saved it. "Why are you doing this? You don't even know us." Logan was quiet for a moment, his mind traveling back 8 years to a hospital corridor, to a doctor with sympathetic eyes telling him that his daughter hadn't survived the accident, to a grief so profound it had nearly destroyed him. When he spoke, his voice was rough with emotion. "Because someone should have done it for me once. Because Madison shouldn't have had to run through streets at 7 years old, begging for help. Because no one deserves what you've been through. And because it's the right thing to do." Vincent appeared again, his phone in hand. "Teresa called Mercy House. They're expecting Amanda and Madison. They'll have a private room ready, and Teresa will meet them there to help with the intake process." "We'll arrange transportation," Detective Simmons said. "Ms. Right, we'll need you to come by the station tomorrow to give a more complete statement. But for tonight, let's get you somewhere safe." Madison, who had been silent through most of this, her arms wrapped around her mother, finally spoke. Her voice was small but clear. "Mr. Logan." Logan crouched down in front of her. "Yes, sweetheart? Thank you for listening to me, for believing me, for saving my mama." Something cracked in Logan's chest, a fissure in the armor he'd built around his heart after losing Kayla. He reached out and gently ruffled Madison's tangled hair. "You saved your mama, Madison. You were the brave one. You ran for help when it mattered most. Don't ever forget that." As the sun set over Tucson, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Amanda and Madison were driven away to Mercy House by a patrol car. Logan and his club members watched them go, then gathered near their bikes in the quiet twilight. "That was some heavy stuff, brother," Derek said, pulling out a cigarette before remembering his promise to his wife and putting it back. "Kid had guts, though." "They both did," Nathan added. "Amanda, too, finally standing up to that piece of garbage." Vincent looked at Logan, seeing the distant expression on his friend's face. He'd known Logan for 12 years, had served with him in the Marines, had been there for the darkest period after Kayla's death. He recognized that look. "You okay, man?" Logan was quiet for a long moment, watching the taillights of the patrol car disappear around a corner. "I keep thinking about what could have happened if Madison hadn't found us. If she'd kept running and found no one. If Brian had..." He couldn't finish the sentence. "But she did find us," Vincent said firmly. "And she did get help. And that little girl and her mother are alive and safe because you didn't hesitate, because none of us did. Logan nodded slowly. This isn't over, you know. Amanda's going to need support. Legal help, maybe financial help, definitely emotional support. Brian's going to fight the charges, and even if he goes to prison, she's going to need help rebuilding her life. Then we help her, Derek said simply. That's what we do, isn't it? We're not just a motorcycle club. We're a family, and families take care of each other. And sometimes, Nathan added, family is made, not born. Those two need a family right now. Logan looked at his brothers, not brothers by blood, but by choice, by loyalty, by shared values, and felt the weight of the decision settling on his shoulders. It wasn't a burden, though. It was a purpose, something he hadn't realized he'd been searching for since Kayla's death. Then that's what we'll do, he said. We'll make sure Amanda and Madison have everything they need to start over. Money, protection, support, whatever it takes. The club will back you, Vincent said. You know that? I do. Logan took one last look at the house where so much violence had occurred, where a cycle of abuse had finally been broken, and he made himself a silent promise. Madison Wright would never have to run barefoot through the streets begging for help again. Not while he had breath in his body and brothers at his side. As the desert riders mounted their bikes and the engines rumbled to life, filling the quiet street with thunder, Mrs. Carmen Rodriguez stepped out onto her porch across the street. She'd lived on Flores Street for 40 years and had seen everything from block parties to drug busts. She'd called the police on Brian Foster twice herself after hearing Amanda's screams through the thin walls of these old houses. She watched the bikers leave and made the sign of the cross, whispering a prayer of thanks. Today, angels had come wearing leather and riding motorcycles. Today, a little girl's desperate plea had been answered. Today, evil had been stopped. Tomorrow would bring its own challenges, legal battles, healing from trauma, the slow work of rebuilding shattered lives. But tonight, for the first time in years, Amanda and Madison Wright would sleep without fear. And Logan Hayes, riding through the cooling desert night with his club brothers beside him, felt the first stirrings of a healing he'd thought impossible. Saving others, he realized, might just be the way to save himself. The roar of 19 motorcycles echoed off the houses as the desert riders headed back to Ray's Gas and Go, where the rest of the club waited for news. Behind them, the blue house with the broken fence stood silent, a temporary crime scene that would eventually be cleaned and rented to someone new, someone who hopefully would fill it with better memories. But the echoes of what happened there today would ripple outward, touching lives in ways no one could yet predict. A little girl who learned that help exists if you're brave enough to ask for it. A mother who learned that leaving is possible if you have support. And a man who learned that purpose and healing can be found in the most unexpected places. Sometimes salvation comes not from the places we expect, but from the courage to run toward hope, even when your feet are bleeding and your heart is breaking. Madison Wright had run, and in running, she had saved more than just her mother. She had saved them all. Mercy House sat on a quiet street in central Tucson, deliberately nondescript to maintain the safety and privacy of its residents. The building, a converted 1970s apartment complex, was surrounded by a high brick wall and an iron gate that required a code for entry. Security cameras were positioned at strategic points, and the windows on the first floor were fitted with reinforced glass. It looked to the casual observer like any other dated apartment building in the neighborhood. That anonymity was intentional. Amanda and Madison arrived just after sunset, escorted by Detective Simmons. As they pulled up to the gate, Madison pressed closer to her mother, her earlier bravery giving way to the exhaustion and uncertainty that comes after the adrenaline fades. "It's okay, baby," Amanda whispered, though her own hands trembled as she stroked her daughter's hair. "We're safe now." The gate opened, and they drove into a small parking lot where Teresa Blackwood waited near the entrance. At 43, Teresa was a woman who radiated competence and compassion in equal measure. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical bun, and her brown eyes held the kind of wisdom that comes from years of witnessing both humanity's worst and best moments. "Amanda? Madison?" Teresa's voice was warm as she approached the car. "I'm Teresa. My husband Vincent called me. Welcome to Mercy House." Over the next hour, Amanda and Madison were guided through the intake process with remarkable gentleness. Teresa had clearly called ahead with details because nothing felt invasive or judgmental. They were shown to a private room, simple but clean, with 2 twin beds, a small desk, and a bathroom of their own. Someone had already placed children's books on Madison's nightstand and a basket of basic toiletries in the bathroom. "We have dinner ready when you're hungry," Teresa explained, "but there's no pressure. I know today has been overwhelming. The most important thing is that you're safe here. Brian doesn't know this location. He can't find you." Amanda sank onto one of the beds, and the reality of everything that had happened finally crashed over her. She had left. She had actually left. Brian was in jail. She and Madison were in a shelter. Her entire life had been upended in the space of a few hours. What do I do now?" The question came out as barely a whisper. Teresa sat in the chair near the desk, her posture open and non-threatening. "Now you breathe. Now you let yourself process what happened. Tomorrow, we start figuring out the practical things: legal protection, housing assistance, your job situation. But tonight, you just be here, safe, with your daughter." "My jobs," Amanda said suddenly, panic creeping into her voice. "I'm supposed to work tomorrow, both places. If I don't show up, they'll fire me, and I can't afford—" "Amanda!" Teresa's gentle interruption stopped the spiral. "We'll handle it. What are the names and numbers of your employers?" With shaking hands, Amanda pulled her cracked cell phone from her pocket and provided the information. Teresa made notes, then looked up with a small smile. "I'll call them first thing in the morning and explain you've had a family emergency and will need a few days. Most employers are understanding about these situations, especially with the police report, to document what happened." "But what if they're not?" The fear in Amanda's voice was palpable. "I need those jobs. I have Madison to support, and now without Brian's income, not that he contributed much, but—" "Then we'll figure it out," Teresa said firmly. "That's what Mercy House does. We help women transition from crisis to stability. Housing assistance, job training if needed, childcare resources, legal advocacy. We don't just give you a temporary place to stay. We help you build a foundation for a new life. You're not alone in this anymore." Madison, who had been sitting silently on her bed, spoke up. "Are the motorcycle people coming back?" Teresa smiled. "The Desert Riders. They're the ones who made sure you had a place here tonight. And yes, I imagine you'll see them again. Logan Hayes doesn't do things halfway. When he commits to helping someone, he follows through. He seems nice," Madison said softly, "for someone so big and scary looking." "He is nice," Teresa agreed, "and he's scary looking on purpose. Sometimes that's useful for protecting people who need protecting." Later that night, after Madison had finally fallen into an exhausted sleep, clutching a donated stuffed rabbit, Amanda stood at the window of their small room, looking out at the courtyard below. Other windows showed signs of life, shadows moving behind curtains, occasional voices, the sound of a child crying and being soothed. She wasn't alone here. This building held other stories like hers, other women who had reached their breaking point and run. The realization was both comforting and devastating. 3 miles away, in a converted warehouse that served as the Desert Riders clubhouse, Logan stood in front of 19 assembled members, The space was a perfect reflection of the club itself, rough around the edges but maintained with pride. Motorcycle parts and tools occupied one corner, a full bar ran along one wall, and comfortable seating filled the center. Banners and photographs covered the walls, club events, toy drives, funeral processions, charity rides. This was more than a hangout space. It was headquarters for a brotherhood. "So here's the situation," Logan said, commanding the room's attention effortlessly. "Amanda Wright and her daughter are safe at Mercy House tonight. Brian Foster is in county jail, charged with aggravated domestic violence and assault. He'll have a bail hearing in the morning. What are the odds he makes bail?" This came from Jackie Monroe, one of 3 women in the club. At 36, Jackie was a trauma nurse at University Medical Center and had seen the aftermath of domestic violence more times than she cared to count. Detective Simmons thinks it's unlikely given his history and the severity of charges. "But possible," Logan replied. "He's got no major criminal record beyond the DV complaints, and if he can scrape together money for a bail bondsman, a judge might grant it with conditions." A rumble of discontent went through the room. Derek spoke what everyone was thinking. "So she might have to deal with him being out on the streets while the trial drags on for months." "That's the reality of the legal system," Vincent confirmed. "But that's why Mercy House exists. It's confidential, secure, and Detective Simmons is pursuing a restraining order on Amanda's behalf." "A piece of paper," Nathan scoffed. "That's what's supposed to protect her? We all know how well that works." "No," Logan said, his voice hard. "We protect her. That's what I want to talk to you all about tonight. Amanda and Madison need more than just a safe place to sleep for a few nights. They need support rebuilding their entire lives. Brian controlled everything: the money, the housing, who Amanda could talk to. She's got 2 minimum wage jobs and probably nothing in savings. She's going to need help, and I'm proposing the club steps up to provide it." "What kind of help are we talking about?" This from Marcus Chen, the club's treasurer, always practical about financial matters. "Short term, making sure they have clothes, food, necessities," Logan listed. "Making sure Madison can stay in her school, which means potentially transportation. Making sure Amanda doesn't lose her jobs and has some financial cushion while she figures things out. Medium term, helping her find safe, affordable housing. Legal support for the divorce and custody proceedings. Maybe some therapy resources, because Madison's going to need that after what she's been through." "Long term?" Jackie asked. Logan was quiet for a moment, then spoke with conviction. "Long term, we make sure they know they have a family, that they're not alone. That if Brian or anyone else tries to hurt them again, they've got 19 bikers who will have something to say about it." "Damn right we will," Derek said, and several others voiced agreement. "This is about more than just feeling good about ourselves," Logan continued. "It's about the kind of club we are. We're not just weekend riders who drink beer and work on bikes. We're veterans, tradesmen, nurses, teachers. We're people who've seen how hard life can be, and we've made a choice to be the kind of people who help when we see someone drowning. Madison ran to us today. She trusted us, and I'll be damned if we're going to let her down." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Okay, let's talk numbers. Club Treasury has about 12,000 from the last charity ride and general dues. How much are we committing to this?" "I'm thinking we start with 5,000 for immediate needs," Logan said. "Clothes, food, school supplies, first month's rent and deposit on a new place when she's ready. We can do more if needed, but let's start there." "I can take Madison school shopping this week," Jackie offered. "Kids grow like weeds, and I guarantee whatever she's wearing doesn't fit right or is associated with bad memories." "I've got a line on affordable apartments," said Raymond Foster, a retired cop who had joined the club 5 years ago. "Not the Ritz, but safe neighborhoods. I can make some calls." My sister's a family lawyer, Cynthia Rodriguez chimed in. Does pro bono work through the Women's Shelter Network? I can get Amanda a consultation. Around the room, offers kept coming. Someone's cousin could donate furniture. Someone knew a therapist who specialized in childhood trauma. Someone had connections at a better-paying job that might be a good fit for Amanda. Vincent watched his best friend's face and saw something he hadn't seen in years. Purpose. Hope. The shadows that had lived in Logan's eyes since Kayla's death seemed lighter somehow. There's one more thing, Logan said. I want us to establish an escort rotation. The room went quiet. Everyone understood what he meant. If Brian makes bail, he's going to try to find Amanda, Logan continued. He's going to stake out her job, her friends, anywhere he thinks she might go. I want to make sure she's never alone and vulnerable. So I'm proposing we coordinate with Mercy House and arrange escorts. When Amanda goes to work, one of us is nearby. When Madison goes to school, one of us is watching. Not invasive, not hovering, but present, visible. So Brian knows, and anyone else who might think about causing problems knows, that these two are under protection. That's a big commitment, Marcus said, though his tone was thoughtful rather than critical. We're talking weeks, maybe months. I know. That's why I'm asking, not ordering. If this is too much, speak up now. No one spoke up. Finally, Nathan broke the silence with a gruff laugh. Hell, Logan, what else are we going to do with our time? Watch TV? My wife already thinks I spend too much time in the garage. Might as well put the time towards something that matters. I'm in, Jackie said. Me too, Derek added. Around the room, one by one, every member voiced their commitment. This was what it meant to be part of the Desert Riders. Not the motorcycles or the leather or the camaraderie, though those things mattered. It was this, the choice to stand between danger and the defenseless, to be the answer when someone asks for help, to be family to those who have none. All right then, Logan said, and there was satisfaction in his voice. Marcus, set up a fund specifically for the right family support. Vincent, coordinate with Teresa about logistics. Jackie, reach out to Amanda about the shopping trip. Derek, work with Raymond on housing options. And everyone, start thinking about your schedules so we can build that escort rotation. As the meeting dissolved into smaller conversations and planning sessions, Vincent pulled Logan aside. You're doing a good thing here, brother, but I have to ask, are you sure this isn't about Kayla? Logan stiffened, then forced himself to relax. It was a fair question, and Vincent had earned the right to ask it. Maybe it is, partly. Maybe I see Madison and remember my daughter at that age. Maybe I think about how desperately I'd want someone to help her if she needed it and I wasn't there. Is that wrong? No, Vincent said gently. It's human. I just want to make sure you're helping Madison and Amanda for them, not to try to fix something from your past that can't be fixed. Logan was quiet, considering the question honestly. It started that way, maybe. When I saw Madison at the gas station, terrified and desperate, yeah, I thought about Kayla. But Vincent, when I walked into that house and saw Brian standing over Amanda, saw what he'd done, saw what he was about to do. This stopped being about my past. This became about right now, about two people who need help and a club that can provide it. Am I bringing some of my own baggage to this? Probably. But that doesn't make helping them any less necessary or right. Vincent studied his friend's face, then nodded. Okay, then let's do it right. Let's give Amanda and Madison the support system they should have had all along. The next morning brought a flurry of activity. Amanda woke to find Teresa outside her door with clothing donations in Madison's size, breakfast from the shelter kitchen, and information about the day ahead. Brian's bail hearing is at 10, Teresa explained as they ate. Detective Simmons will call with the results. In the meantime, I've spoken with both your employers. The grocery store manager was very understanding and said to take the week off, paid. The diner manager, she paused. He was less understanding. He said, "If you don't show up for your shift tonight, you're fired." Amanda's face fell. "That's half my income. I can't—" "Actually," Teresa interrupted with a small smile, "you can. Jackie Monroe, one of the desert riders, has a connection at University Medical Center. They're looking for someone in medical records. It's full-time, pays $14 an hour with benefits, and it's day shift. She can get you an interview this week if you're interested." Amanda stared, unable to process this turn of events. Yesterday, her life had been a tightly controlled nightmare. Today, strangers were rearranging pieces to give her opportunities she'd never dreamed of. "Why?" she whispered. "Why are they doing this?" "Because they can," Teresa said simply. "Because they've chosen to be people who help, and because you and Madison deserve it. Will you let them?" Before Amanda could answer, there was a knock on the door. Teresa opened it to reveal Jackie, carrying several shopping bags. "Morning," Jackie said cheerfully, though her trained eye immediately assessed Amanda's injuries. "I'm Jackie. I work at UMC, ride with the Desert Riders, and I have 2 daughters of my own. I thought Madison might need some clothes that actually fit and don't carry bad memories. Is it okay if we do a little shopping?" Madison, who had been quietly eating cereal, perked up. "Real shopping? Like at a store?" "Like at a store," Jackie confirmed. "Your mom needs to stay here for some legal stuff today, but if it's okay with her, you and I can hit Target and maybe get lunch. What do you say?" Amanda looked at her daughter's hopeful face and made a decision to trust. "Okay. But Madison, you stay with Miss Jackie the whole time, understand? I promise, Mama." As Jackie and Madison headed out, chattering about favorite colors and whether sparkly shoes were practical, Amanda felt tears threatening again. Teresa handed her a tissue without comment. "I don't know how to accept this much help," Amanda admitted. "I've been on my own for so long." "Then learn," Teresa said. "That's part of healing too. Learning that you don't have to do everything alone." The bail hearing brought mixed results. Brian's bail was set at $50,000, high, but not impossibly so. However, the judge also issued a temporary restraining order and required electronic monitoring if bail was posted. Detective Simmons called with the update, her voice professional but sympathetic. "The good news is, he's still in jail for now," she explained. "He doesn't have access to that kind of money easily. The bad news is, his parents might scrape it together. They've already hired a lawyer and are claiming you're exaggerating the abuse." Amanda's hand tightened on the phone. Of course they were. Brian's parents had always blamed her for their son's problems. In their eyes, Brian was a victim of her inadequacy. "If he does make bail," Detective Simmons continued, "the restraining order is in effect immediately. He can't come within 500 feet of you, Madison, Mercy House, or your workplaces. If he violates it, he goes straight back to jail. And if he does it anyway, and I get hurt before police arrive?" Amanda's voice was flat. There was a pause. "That's why I'm glad you have the Desert Riders looking out for you. Off the record, Amanda, that club has a reputation for protecting people the law can't always reach fast enough. Let them help." After the call ended, Amanda sat in the small room and let herself feel the full weight of uncertainty. Would Brian make bail? Would he come after her? Would she have to spend the rest of her life looking over her shoulder? A knock interrupted her spiral. Logan stood in the hallway, somehow less intimidating in the light of day, but no less imposing. He held a manila folder. "Mind if I come in for a minute?" Amanda gestured to the chair, and Logan sat, looking oddly formal in the informal space. "How are you and Madison doing?" "I don't know," Amanda said honestly. "Better than yesterday. Scared about tomorrow." Logan nodded, understanding. He opened the folder and pulled out several documents. "I wanted to talk to you about some practical things. First, housing. We've got a list of safe, affordable apartments, not luxury, but clean and secure neighborhoods. When you're ready to move out of Mercy House, you'll have options. I can't afford most rentals, Amanda said quietly. First month, last month, security deposit. Even with 2 jobs, I've got maybe $500 saved. That's taken care of, Logan said. The club has a fund. We're covering your moving costs. Amanda shook her head. I can't accept that. I can't take money from strangers. We're not strangers anymore, and it's not charity. Think of it as community support. We take care of our own. But I'm not. You are now, Logan said firmly. Madison ran to us for help. That makes you family. That's how this works. Amanda was quiet for a long moment, years of independence and self-reliance warring with the reality that she desperately needed help. Finally, she spoke in a small voice. I don't know how to repay this. You don't have to. But if you want to, someday when you're back on your feet, you pay it forward. You help someone else who's running barefoot through streets looking for hope. Tears slid down Amanda's cheeks. I feel like I'm in a dream. Yesterday everything was a nightmare, and today people are offering me jobs and housing and... She trailed off. And you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, Logan said gently. I get it. But Amanda, this is real. The help is real. You're not going to wake up and find it was all fantasy. You made the hardest choice a person can make. You left. You chose to save yourself and Madison. Everything else is just logistics. What if Brian finds us? What if he won't? And if he tries, he'll have to go through me and 18 other very motivated individuals. We've set up a protection rotation. Whenever you leave Mercy House, one of us will be nearby. Not in your face, not invasive, but there, watching, making sure you're safe. Amanda looked at this man who had crashed into her life like a leather-clad guardian angel. Why are you doing this? Jackie and Teresa and Vincent, they say it's just who you all are, but there has to be more to it. Nobody just does this. Logan was quiet, debating how much to share. Finally, he spoke. 8 years ago, I had a daughter, Kayla. She was 9 years old, smart as a whip, loved horses and books and terrible puns. One night, my ex-wife was driving her home from a friend's house. A drunk driver ran a red light and hit them head-on. My ex-wife lived. Kayla didn't. Amanda drew in a sharp breath. Logan, I'm so sorry. For a long time after, I was angry at the world. Angry that I couldn't protect her. Angry that I wasn't there. Angry that life could be so random and cruel. But about a year ago, Vincent sat me down and told me something I needed to hear. He said, you can't bring Kayla back, but you can honor her by being the person who shows up when someone else's child needs help. That stuck with me. He paused, his voice rough. Yesterday, when Madison ran to us, I saw a chance to do what I couldn't do for my own daughter. To be there when it mattered. So yeah, maybe part of this is about Kayla, but mostly it's about you and Madison deserving better than what you've had. Amanda wiped her eyes. She would be proud of you. Your daughter. I hope so. Logan cleared his throat and returned to the documents. Anyway, here's the information about apartments. And Jackie mentioned the job at UMC. It's real, if you want it. Better pay, better hours, benefits. You'd have to interview, but Jackie says it's mostly a formality. I don't know anything about medical records. They'll train you. Amanda, you've been working 2 jobs and raising a daughter while surviving an abusive relationship. You're one of the strongest people I've ever met. You can learn medical records. For the first time since Logan had met her, Amanda smiled. It was small and tentative, but it was there. Okay, I'll interview. And I'll look at the apartments. And I'll try to believe this is real. That's all anyone can ask. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks that transformed Amanda and Madison's world in ways both profound and practical. Brian remained in jail, his parents having scraped together enough for a bail bondsman, only to have him violate the restraining order within 48 hours of release by driving past Amanda's workplace. The electronic monitor had alerted authorities immediately, and he was remanded back into custody. The violation also strengthened the prosecution's case considerably. Amanda got the job at University Medical Center. Her first day was terrifying, navigating a massive hospital complex, learning new computer systems, meeting dozens of co-workers. But Jackie had introduced her to key people, and word had spread about her situation. The medical community, familiar with the realities of domestic violence, rallied around her. Within a week, she had 3 people offering her rides if she needed them, 2 invitations to join a women's support group, and a supervisor who made it clear that her safety came first. Madison enrolled in Desert Willow Elementary, a good school near one of the apartments the club had helped Amanda secure. It was a 2-bedroom unit in a safe, quiet complex with a playground and on-site security. The rent was manageable on Amanda's new salary, and the Desert Riders had covered the initial costs, plus furnished it with donated items that ranged from practical to touching: a full kitchen set from Derek's mother, a bedroom set for Madison painted lavender by Jackie and her daughters, a comfortable couch from Vincent and Teresa. The protection rotation that Logan had organized became routine. When Amanda went to work, there was always a Desert Riders bike in the parking lot, different member each day, respectfully distant but visibly present. When Madison went to school, there was always someone watching the drop-off and pick-up. Brian's family hired a private investigator to find Amanda's location, but the tight-lipped community and the club's vigilance ensured no information leaked. It was on a Saturday morning, 4 weeks after the gas station encounter, that everything shifted again. Logan had just finished an oil change on his bike when his phone rang. Teresa's name appeared on the screen. "Logan, it's Madison. She's asking for you." His heart immediately kicked into high gear. Is she okay? Did something happen? She's fine physically, but she's having a rough day emotionally. Asked if you could come by. I think she needs a father figure right now, and you're the one she trusts. 30 minutes later, Logan found himself in the community room at Mercy House. Madison sat on a beanbag chair, clutching the stuffed rabbit she'd been given on her first night. Her eyes were red from crying. "Hey, sweetheart," Logan said gently, sitting on the floor near her, not too close, giving her space. "Your friend Teresa said you wanted to talk?" Madison nodded, then the words tumbled out in a rush. "There's a daddy-daughter dance at school next month. All my friends are going with their dads, and I don't have a dad. Brian was never my dad. My real dad died before I was born in a car accident, and I know Mama would take me, but that's not the same. Everyone will have their dads, and I'll just..." She dissolved into tears. Logan felt his chest constrict. How many times had he taken Kayla to daddy-daughter events? How many times had he braided her hair badly and stepped on her toes during dances and felt like the luckiest man alive? "Madison, can I tell you something?" he said quietly. She nodded, hiccuping. "Being a dad isn't about biology. It's about showing up. It's about being there when someone needs you. It's about protecting people you love and teaching them they're valuable and strong." He paused. "I had a daughter once. Her name was Kayla. And one of my favorite things was taking her to daddy-daughter dances. She'd pick out a dress, and I'd wear a tie, and we'd eat terrible cake and dance to songs I didn't know. I haven't done that in 8 years, and I've missed it." Madison looked up at him with those hazel eyes that had pleaded for help in a gas station parking lot. "What happened to her?" "She died in an accident. And it broke my heart into so many pieces, I didn't think it would ever work right again." "Does it work right now?" Logan considered the question. "It's getting there. Helping you and your mama has been part of that." Madison was quiet for a moment. Then, in a voice so small it was almost a whisper, Would you take me to the dance? If Mama says it's okay." Logan felt tears prick his eyes. "Madison, I would be honored to take you to that dance. More honored than you know. Really. Really. We'll get you a dress, I'll wear my best jeans, maybe even a tie, and we'll dance until your feet hurt. Deal?" "Deal!" Madison launched herself at him, wrapping her thin arms around his neck in a hug that felt like absolution and hope all wrapped together. When Logan talked to Amanda later that day, he expected hesitation or concern. Instead, she surprised him. "She adores you," Amanda said simply. "She talks about you constantly. Mr. Logan said I was brave." Mr. Logan has a motorcycle louder than thunder. Mr. Logan promised we'd be safe. You've become so important to her, and I know that's a lot to put on someone who signed up to help, not to become a father figure. "I'm not running," Logan said. "If Madison needs a father figure, I'm here, not to replace her biological father. She should know about him, honor his memory, but to be someone she can count on." Amanda's eyes filled with tears. "You know what the hardest part of the abuse was? Not the hitting, though that was terrible. It was Brian making me believe I was worthless, that Madison and I didn't deserve better, that we were lucky anyone wanted us at all. And now you and Jackie and Vincent and Teresa and all these people are showing us the opposite. You're showing Madison what good men look like, what it means to be protected instead of controlled." "You did the hard part," Logan reminded her. "You left. You saved yourself and Madison. We're just walking beside you now. I couldn't have left without you, without all of you. Maybe, but you found the courage to run, to ask for help. That was all you, Amanda." The weeks continued to pass. Halloween came, and the Desert Riders organized a safe trick-or-treating event for families at Mercy House and other shelters. Madison went as a superhero, specifically a motorcycle-riding superhero that she insisted had to have leather jackets and boots like Mr. Logan. Thanksgiving arrived, and instead of a quiet, fearful dinner with Brian's criticism and potential violence, Amanda and Madison were invited to Teresa and Vincent's home. 15 Desert Riders members and their families were there, creating a chaotic, joyful feast. Madison sat between Logan and Jackie's youngest daughter, giggling and stuffing herself with pie. December brought the trial. Brian, facing overwhelming evidence and his bail violation, took a plea deal. 3 years in prison for aggravated assault, with mandatory anger management and substance abuse counseling. A permanent restraining order was issued, effective for 10 years after his release. Amanda testified, and it was one of the hardest things she'd ever done. But when she left the courthouse, there were 12 Desert Riders waiting outside. Silent support, visible protection. The message was clear. Amanda Wright was not alone, not unprotected, not without family. And through it all, Logan felt something inside himself healing. The sharp edges of grief over Kayla's death didn't disappear, but they softened. He found himself laughing again, looking forward to things again. Madison's joy became infectious. Amanda's slowly building confidence was a miracle to witness. Vincent noticed. "You're different, man. Lighter." "I feel different," Logan admitted. They were working on bikes in the clubhouse on a Saturday afternoon. "I thought helping them would be about paying forward some karma or honoring Kayla's memory, and it is that. But it's also, I don't know. It's given me purpose again. A reason to show up that isn't just going through the motions. You love them." It wasn't a question. Logan looked at his best friend and nodded slowly. "Yeah, I do. Not romantically with Amanda. At least not yet. That's complicated and she's healing. But Madison, that kid has my heart, and Amanda's strength, her resilience, her determination to build a better life for her daughter. Yeah, I love them both." "Good," Vincent said, grinning. "Because they love you too, and you deserve that, brother. After everything you've been through, you deserve a family again." The morning of the daddy-daughter dance dawned clear and sunny, typical for a December day in Tucson. Madison had been practically vibrating with excitement for 2 weeks. Jackie had taken her shopping, and together they'd found a dress that made Madison gasp when she saw herself in the mirror. Deep purple with sparkles that caught the light, twirling perfectly, and matching lavender shoes that Madison insisted made her feel like a princess. Logan, true to his word, wore his best jeans, the ones without oil stains or tears, a button-down shirt, and yes, a tie, navy blue with small silver stars. He'd let Vincent help him tie it, claiming he'd forgotten how after years of not needing one. When he arrived at Amanda and Madison's apartment to pick Madison up, Amanda answered the door with her phone already out, ready to take pictures like any proud mother. "You look beautiful, sweetheart," Logan said to Madison, and her face lit up like sunrise. "You look fancy, Mr. Logan." Well, a fancy lady deserves a fancy date. They took pictures, Madison beaming, Logan's expression soft in a way few people ever saw, Amanda crying happy tears behind the camera. Then Logan offered Madison his arm like a gentleman, and they walked to his truck. He'd decided the motorcycle, while cooler, wasn't practical for a girl in a fancy dress. The dance was held in the Desert Willow Elementary cafeteria, transformed with streamers and twinkling lights. Music played from large speakers, and a table full of cookies and punch sat against one wall. Dozens of father-daughter pairs filled the space, some dads looking comfortable, others hilariously awkward. Madison's teacher, Mrs. Elena Ramirez, Officer Ramirez's sister-in-law, spotted them immediately. She'd been briefed on Madison's situation and had been instrumental in helping Madison adjust to her new school. "Madison, you look stunning," Mrs. Ramirez exclaimed. Then quieter to Logan, "Thank you for being here for her. She's talked about tonight non-stop." For the next 2 hours, Logan and Madison danced to pop songs, ate too many cookies, participated in a silly limbo contest. Madison won, Logan got stuck, and took approximately 50 photos at the photo booth. Madison introduced Logan to her friends with unmistakable pride. "This is Mr. Logan. He rides motorcycles and he saved me and my mama." The looks Logan got from other parents ranged from curiosity to approval, to a few narrowed-eye assessments from protective mothers. But anyone watching could see the genuine affection between the tattooed biker and the tiny girl in the purple dress. During a slow song, Madison stood on Logan's boots as they swayed, her small hands holding his larger ones. "Mr. Logan?" "Yes, sweetheart. Is it okay if I think of you like a dad? I know you're not really my dad, and I know you had a daughter who died, and maybe that makes it sad. But you feel like what I think a dad should feel like. Safe and strong, and like you'll always show up." Logan's throat closed with emotion. When he could speak, his voice was rough. "Madison, it would make me happier than almost anything if you thought of me like a dad. And it doesn't make me sad about Kayla. It makes me feel like maybe she sent you to me so we could take care of each other. Like she's watching out for us from heaven." "Yeah, like that." Madison rested her head against his chest. "I like that idea." As the song ended and the DJ called for one final group dance, Logan looked around the cafeteria at the other fathers with their daughters. He'd never expected to be here again. He'd thought this chapter of his life had closed forever on a rain-slick highway 8 years ago. But sometimes life surprises you. Sometimes salvation comes not from moving on, but from opening your heart again. Sometimes you find family in the least expected places. The next 3 months were a period of adjustment and growth for everyone involved. Amanda continued to thrive at her job. Her supervisor, impressed by her work ethic and attention to detail, recommended her for additional training that would lead to a promotion and higher pay. Amanda enrolled in night classes at the community college, working toward a certificate in health information management. Teresa helped her navigate childcare options, so Madison was never alone when Amanda had evening classes. Madison blossomed at Desert Willow Elementary. Her grades improved, she made close friends, and her teacher reported that the anxious, withdrawn child from the first week had become confident and engaged. Madison started taking karate classes, Logan's suggestion, both for self-defense and confidence building. He drove her to class twice a week and sat in the viewing area, watching with unmistakable pride. The Desert Riders continued their protection rotation, though it became more low-key as the immediate danger passed. Brian's imprisonment meant the threat level had dropped significantly. Still, the club maintained awareness, and Amanda always knew that if she needed help, she had 19 people, plus their families, ready to respond. Logan found himself spending more and more time with Amanda and Madison. What started as checking in evolved into regular dinners, movie nights, helping Madison with homework, teaching her about motorcycles in the clubhouse garage. He was careful not to overstep, conscious of Amanda's need to maintain independence and Madison's need for stability rather than confusion. But feelings grew anyway, slowly, carefully, like plants pushing through concrete. It was Vincent who finally called him on it. They were working on a charity event, planning a ride to raise money for Mercy House, when Vincent set down his clipboard and fixed Logan with a knowing look. "So, when are you going to admit you're in love with Amanda?" Logan's hand slipped and he dropped the wrench he'd been holding. "What? I'm not. We're just... Brother, I've known you for 12 years. I know what you look like when you're going through motions and what you look like when you're invested. You light up when Madison talks. You smile when Amanda texts. You've rearranged your entire work schedule so you can drive Madison to karate. You're in love with both of them." Logan was quiet for a long moment. "She's been through hell, Vincent. The last thing she needs is some guy pressuring her for a relationship when she's just getting her feet under her." "I agree, which is why I'm not suggesting you pressure her. I'm suggesting you be honest with yourself about what you feel. And maybe, when the time is right, be honest with her too, because Logan, she looks at you the same way you look at her. You think so? I know so. Teresa sees it too. Amanda's healing, but she's also falling for you. Slowly, carefully, but it's happening. And that's okay. Healing doesn't mean you can't also find happiness." Logan considered this. The idea of having a family again, a partner, a daughter figure, a complete life instead of just existence, was both terrifying and intoxicating. "What if I screw it up?" he asked quietly. "What if I'm not good enough? What if Madison needs more than I can give? What if you stop borrowing trouble and just be present?" Vincent interrupted gently. "You're already doing everything right. You're patient, you're supportive, you're not pushing. Just keep being that, and trust that if Amanda's interested, she'll let you know when she's ready." The moment came on a February evening, 4 months after the gas station encounter that had changed everything. Logan had brought dinner to Amanda's apartment, a habit that had developed organically. Madison was at a friend's house for a sleepover, the first one Amanda had felt comfortable allowing. It meant Logan and Amanda had a rare evening alone together. They ate on the couch, talking about everything and nothing: Madison's progress in karate, Amanda's upcoming promotion, club gossip, plans for spring. As the conversation lulled, Amanda set down her plate and turned to face Logan. "Can I ask you something?" "Always." "Why haven't you asked me out?" Logan blinked, surprised by her directness. I didn't want to pressure you. You've been through trauma. You're rebuilding your life, and I didn't want you to feel like I helped you expecting something in return." "What if I want you to expect something in return?" Amanda's voice was quiet but steady. "Logan, you saved my life. You and the club have given Madison and me a completely new existence. But beyond that, you've become one of the most important people in my world. You make me laugh. You make me feel safe. You treat Madison like she's precious. And I realized something recently. I don't want you in my life just as a friend or a protector. I want more. Logan's heart hammered in his chest. Amanda, I'm not asking for rushing into anything, she interrupted. I'm still healing, and I want to do this right. But I need you to know that when I think about my future, you're in it. Not out of obligation or gratitude, but because I'm falling in love with you. The words hung in the air between them, honest and vulnerable and brave. Logan reached out and gently took her hand. I've been in love with you for months, he admitted. With you and with Madison both. Watching you build this new life, seeing your strength, being part of Madison's world. It's given me more purpose and joy than I've had since Kayla died. But I was scared. Scared I wasn't good enough. Scared of messing up what we already have. You're more than good enough, Amanda said fiercely. You're everything I didn't know I needed. Strong but gentle. Protective but not controlling. Present but not suffocating. You're teaching Madison what healthy love looks like. You're showing me that not all men want to hurt and control. Logan lifted her hand and pressed a kiss to her knuckles. Then yes. Yes to dating. Yes to taking this slow. Yes to building something real together. Yes to all of it. Amanda smiled, that full, genuine smile that transformed her whole face. Good. Because Madison's been planning our wedding for weeks. Fair warning. Logan laughed, a sound of pure happiness. Has she? Oh yes. Very elaborate plans involving motorcycles, purple everything, and cake that's bigger than a house. She's very invested in you becoming her official dad. I'd like that, Logan said softly. Being her official dad, being your partner, building a family. We kind of already are one, Amanda pointed out. We're just making it official. She leaned in, and Logan met her halfway. The kiss was gentle, tentative, full of promise and possibility. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. So, Amanda said, want to stay and watch a movie? Actually watch it, without a 7-year-old demanding we pause every 10 minutes for snack breaks and questions? I can't think of anything I'd rather do. They settled in together, Amanda leaning against Logan's chest, his arm around her shoulders. The TV played, but neither was really watching. They were too busy savoring the moment, the quiet peace of being exactly where they were meant to be. 8 months had passed since Madison Wright ran barefoot through scorching streets looking for help. 8 months that had transformed multiple lives in profound ways. It was mid-August, and the annual Desert Riders charity event was in full swing. What had started years ago as a small toy drive had grown into a major community event. Motorcycle parade, family activities, food trucks, and fundraising for multiple local charities, including Mercy House. The parking lot of the clubhouse was packed, hundreds of people milled around. Club members, families, community supporters, and representatives from the charities they supported. Children ran between the bikes under watchful adult eyes, faces painted and hands clutching ice cream cones. The smell of grilled food filled the air, and music played from a DJ booth decorated with Desert Riders banners. Madison, now 8 years old and noticeably taller, darted between groups with her friends from school. She wore a small leather vest that Jackie had made for her, a junior member patch given to children of club members and close family. On the back it read, "Protected by Desert Riders MC." She wore it with unmistakable pride. Amanda stood near the food tent, helping to serve alongside Teresa and other club family members. She looked different from the terrified, bruised woman who had cowered on her kitchen floor 8 months ago. Her hair was styled, her clothes were nice but comfortable, and most noticeably, her eyes held confidence and peace. The permanent crease of fear between her brows had smoothed away. She and Logan had been officially together for 6 months, taking things slowly but steadily. He'd moved in 2 months ago, and the transition had been surprisingly smooth, Madison had been thrilled, Amanda had felt ready, and Logan had slipped into their lives like a puzzle piece finding its place. They hadn't gotten married yet. Amanda wanted to wait until her divorce from Brian was finalized, which would happen next month, but there was a ring already purchased, sitting in Logan's dresser drawer, waiting for the right moment. "Mom!" Madison appeared at Amanda's elbow, breathless and grinning. "Can I go ride on the back of Miss Jackie's bike? She said she'd take me and Sophia and Emma around the block if you say yes." Amanda smiled. 6 months ago, the idea of Madison on a motorcycle would have terrified her. Now, knowing Jackie's skill and safety precautions, she felt fine about it. "Helmet? Obviously. Then yes. But you listen to Jackie and follow all the rules." "I will. Thanks, Mom." Madison hugged her quickly and darted off. Teresa appeared beside Amanda, wiping her hands on a towel. "She's thriving." "She is," Amanda agreed, watching her daughter's purple-streaked hair, a recent addition that Logan had helped her achieve, disappear into the crowd. "Sometimes I can't believe how different our lives are. 8 months ago, I couldn't imagine a future that didn't involve fear." "You created that change," Teresa reminded her. "You made the choice to run, to ask for help, to leave. The club opened doors, but you walked through them. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Maybe. But you did do it. And look at you now. Good job, safe home, healthy daughter, and a man who looks at you like you hung the moon." As if summoned, Logan appeared, carrying 2 bottles of water. He handed one to Amanda and pressed a quick kiss to her temple. "Taking a break? You've been serving food for 2 hours straight." "Someone has to feed the masses," Amanda said, but she accepted the water gratefully. "Vendors are here. I'm officially relieving you of duty. Come take a walk with me." Amanda glanced at Teresa, who made a shooing motion. "Go, I've got this covered." Logan led Amanda through the crowd, stopping occasionally to talk to people, club members, community partners, families they'd helped over the years. Amanda noticed how people responded to him, with respect, affection, and trust. This was a man who had built a reputation through consistent action, who led by example rather than decree. They ended up near the edge of the property, where the noise of the event was muted. Logan turned to face her, suddenly looking nervous in a way that was unusual for him. "So, I know we talked about waiting until the divorce is final," he began. Amanda's heart started to race. "Logan, but I realize something," he continued. "I've already committed to you and Madison in every way that matters. We're already a family. We're already building a life together, and waiting for some legal paperwork to finalize doesn't change what I feel or what I want." He pulled a small box from his pocket and opened it. Inside was a ring, simple but beautiful, a single stone set in a delicate band. "Amanda Wright, you are the strongest, bravest, most incredible woman I've ever met. You saved yourself and your daughter through sheer determination and courage. You've rebuilt your entire life from the ground up. And somehow, in the middle of all that, you've made room in your heart for me. You've given me back something I thought I'd lost forever. A family, a purpose, a reason to believe in happiness. I love you. I love Madison. I want to spend the rest of my life being the partner you deserve and the father Madison needs. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Amanda's face, but she was smiling wider than Logan had ever seen. "Yes, absolutely yes. I love you, Logan. You've shown me what love is supposed to look like. Protective but not controlling. Supportive but not suffocating. Strong but gentle. You've given Madison a father and me a partner. Yes, I'll marry you." Logan slid the ring onto her finger, and then they were kissing. 8 months of slow-building love and careful trust culminating in this moment of commitment and joy. When they pulled apart, they found an audience. Madison stood a few feet away with Jackie, both of them grinning. Behind them, a crowd of desert riders and their families had gathered, having noticed the proposal. "Did she say yes?" Madison shouted. "She said yes!" Logan confirmed. Madison shrieked with delight and ran to them, throwing herself at Logan and then Amanda. "This means you're officially going to be my dad, right? Like legal and everything?" "Legal and everything," Logan confirmed. "If that's what you want." "That's what I want. Can I help plan the wedding? Can there be motorcycles? Can my dress be purple?" Logan laughed, scooping her up despite her being nearly too big for it. "Yes, yes, and absolutely yes." The crowd erupted in cheers and congratulations. Derek started a chant of "Desert Riders family" that caught on quickly. Vincent appeared with a bottle of champagne somehow already opened, spraying it in celebration. As the chaos swirled around them, Amanda looked at Logan holding Madison, both of them laughing, surrounded by people who had become genuine family. She thought about the woman she'd been 8 months ago, broken, terrified, convinced she deserved the abuse, unable to imagine escape. That woman wouldn't recognize her life now. The sun set over Tucson in brilliant shades of orange and purple, and the charity event continued into the evening. Food was consumed, money was raised, connections were strengthened. The Desert Riders would end up collecting over $30,000 for local charities, with a significant portion going to Mercy House. As darkness fell, someone built a bonfire in the designated fire pit area. People gathered around it, sharing stories and laughter. Children roasted marshmallows under supervision, while adults talked and relaxed. Logan sat on a bench with Amanda tucked against his side, and Madison sitting at his feet, leaning back against his legs. The firelight danced across their faces, and the sounds of community surrounded them. "Mr. Logan," Madison said thoughtfully. "Yeah, sweetheart. Remember the day I found you at the gas station?" "I remember. I was so scared. I thought maybe nobody would help. I thought maybe Mama and I were going to die." Amanda tensed, and Logan's arm tightened around her. "But you were brave anyway," Logan said. "Even though you were scared. Yeah, and you listened. You believed me. You came immediately." "Of course I did." Madison turned to look up at him, her young face serious in the firelight. "Thank you for saving us. Thank you for being my dad. Thank you for loving us." Logan felt his eyes sting with tears, happy tears, healing tears. "Thank you for running to me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for teaching me that my heart could work again. Does this mean I can call you Dad now instead of Mr. Logan?" Logan's voice was thick with emotion. "I would be honored if you called me Dad." "Okay." Madison smiled, satisfied, and turned back to watch the fire. "Dad." The word hung in the air, simple and powerful. A word that meant safety, love, commitment, family. A word Logan had thought he'd never hear again, directed at him. Amanda tilted her head up to look at him, and he could see his own emotions reflected in her eyes. They had traveled such a long way in 8 short months, from violence and fear to safety and love, from isolation to community, from desperation to hope. Around them, the Desert Riders and their families continued their celebration. Children ran and played, adults talked and laughed. The fire crackled and sparked, sending embers floating up into the dark desert sky. Vincent caught Logan's eye from across the fire pit and raised his beer bottle in a silent toast. Logan nodded back, acknowledgement and gratitude passing between brothers. Jackie appeared with more marshmallows, distributing them to the children and making Madison laugh with an exaggerated story about the time she'd accidentally caught her marshmallow on fire and flung it across a campsite. Teresa and several other women organized a group sing-along that started silly and became surprisingly heartfelt. And through it all, Logan sat with his family, the daughter of his heart and the woman he loved, and felt more complete than he had in 8 years. Later that night, after the event had wound down and people had gone home, after Madison had been tucked into bed in the apartment, still talking excitedly about wedding plans, Logan and Amanda sat on their small balcony looking at the stars. "Do you think Kayla would approve?" Logan asked quietly. "Of us? Of me moving forward?" Amanda took his hand, the new ring catching starlight. I think Kayla would be happy that her dad found a way to keep living instead of just existing. I think she'd love Madison like a sister, and I think she's up there somewhere, smiling because the dad she loved is using that love to help other people. I like to think so. Logan was quiet for a moment. I still miss her. That never goes away. It shouldn't, Amanda said gently. She was your daughter. You loved her. Missing her is part of honoring her memory, but loving Madison doesn't diminish that. Love doesn't work like that. It's not a finite resource. There's room in your heart for both. When did you get so wise? Amanda laughed softly. When I survived something I didn't think I could survive. When I learned that asking for help isn't weakness. When I let myself believe I deserved better. Trauma doesn't make you wise, but healing from it can. They sat in comfortable silence, hands intertwined, watching the desert stars. So, Amanda finally said, Madison wants motorcycles, purple everything, and cake bigger than a house. What do you want for our wedding? Honestly, just you, Madison, and the people we love bearing witness. Everything else is details. Good answer. Amanda leaned her head on his shoulder. Though we should probably include the detail of where it happens and when. Fall wedding? October's beautiful in Arizona. The heat breaks, the colors change, and it'll be a little over a year since Madison found us. Feels right, symbolically. October it is, Amanda agreed. At the clubhouse? Where else? It's where our family lives. Our family, Amanda smiled. I love the sound of that. Me too. They stayed there for another hour, planning and dreaming, occasionally lapsing into silence, comfortable in each other's presence. Inside, Madison slept deeply, secure in the knowledge that she was loved and protected. Around the city, other Desert Riders members were home with their own families, knowing they'd helped make a difference today. And in a cell at the county jail, Brian Foster sat alone with the consequences of his choices, his control and violence, having lost him everything that mattered. The world kept turning, lives kept changing, healing kept happening. The October sun shone bright over the Desert Riders clubhouse property, decorated with purple and silver for the wedding of Logan Hayes and Amanda Wright Foster, soon to be simply Wright Hayes, as Amanda was officially reclaiming her maiden name. Chairs were arranged in neat rows, filling with guests, club members and their families, Amanda's co-workers from UMC, Madison's teacher and classmates, Detective Simmons and Officer Ramirez, Teresa and her family, representatives from Mercy House, and dozens of other people whose lives had intersected with this unlikely family. Madison, in her purple flower girl dress, with sparkles obviously, buzzed around checking details with the intensity of a tiny wedding coordinator. She wore a small tiara that Logan had surprised her with that morning, and her hair had been professionally styled with tiny purple flowers woven through it. "Dad!" she called, spotting Logan near the makeshift altar. "Your tie is crooked." Logan smiled and adjusted it. He wore a sharp suit, navy blue, matching his original promise to dress up for Madison, with motorcycle boots, because some things were non-negotiable. His Desert Riders patch was carefully hung on a stand near the altar, a reminder of the brotherhood that had made this day possible. "Better?" Madison inspected critically. "Better. Are you nervous?" "A little," Logan admitted. "Good nervous, though." "Mom's nervous too, but she looks so pretty, Dad. So pretty. I can't wait to see her." Music started. Not traditional wedding music, but a meaningful song that Amanda had chosen, something about finding home and family in unexpected places. The guests stood, and Madison walked down the aisle first, scattering purple flower petals with slightly more enthusiasm than grace. Then Amanda appeared, and Logan's breath caught. She wore a simple white dress, elegant and understated, her hair loose around her shoulders. She carried a bouquet of purple and white flowers. But it wasn't the dress or the flowers that made Logan's eyes sting with emotion. It was the expression on her face. Pure joy, confidence, hope, and love. She walked alone down the aisle. Her choice, a statement of independence and self-determination. She was giving herself to Logan, not being given by anyone else. When she reached him, he took her hands and whispered, "You're beautiful. You're pretty handsome yourself," she whispered back. The ceremony was officiated by a friend of Vincent's, a chaplain who had served in the Marines. His words spoke of strength, resilience, chosen family, and love that shows up in action rather than just words. He acknowledged Kayla's memory, honoring Logan's first daughter and the love he'd carried forward. He acknowledged Amanda's journey from survivor to thriver, and he acknowledged Madison, the bridge between them, whose courage had started it all. When it came time for vows, Logan went first. Amanda, a year and a half ago, a scared little girl, ran to me asking for help. I had no idea that saying yes would change my entire life. You've taught me that hearts can heal without forgetting what they've lost. You've shown me that strength isn't about never being broken, it's about putting yourself back together and choosing to keep going. You've given me a family again, a purpose again, a future I actually want to live. I promise to be your partner, your protector when needed, your supporter always. I promise to be the father Madison deserves, and I promise to show up every single day for whatever our life brings. I love you. Amanda's voice trembled slightly as she spoke her vows. Logan, you saved my life. Not just by stopping Brian that day, but by showing me what love is actually supposed to look like. You've never controlled, never diminished, never made me feel small. Instead, you've built me up, believed in me, and given Madison a father who makes her feel safe and valued. You've taken broken pieces and helped create something beautiful. I promise to be your partner in all things. I promise to honor Kayla's memory and teach Madison about the sister she would have loved. I promise to keep choosing you every day through whatever comes. I love you. There wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. When the chaplain pronounced them married and Logan kissed Amanda, the desert riders erupted in cheers. Someone revved a motorcycle engine in celebration. Madison jumped up and down, clapping. The reception was everything Madison had promised. Motorcycles, several used as decoration, and rides offered to brave guests. Purple decorations everywhere, and a three-tiered cake that was, if not bigger than a house, certainly impressively large. Speeches were made. Vincent told embarrassing stories about Logan that made everyone laugh. Jackie talked about watching Amanda transform from terrified to confident. Teresa spoke about the ripple effects of kindness and how one act of help had changed multiple lives. Then Madison asked to speak. At 9 years old, standing on a chair so everyone could see her, she held a microphone and addressed the crowd. When I was 7, I had to run away from my house because someone was hurting my mama. I was really scared. But I saw these people with motorcycles, and even though they looked scary, I asked them for help anyway. And Mr. Logan, I mean Dad, she corrected herself with a grin, he said yes, immediately. He didn't ask a bunch of questions or tell me to go away. He just helped. Because of Dad and all the desert riders, my mama and I have a whole new life. We're safe. We're happy. We have a real family now. And I learned something really important. Being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means asking for help even when you're scared. And being a hero doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means you have to show up when someone needs you. So thank you, Dad, for showing up. Thank you, Desert Riders, for being the kind of people who help instead of looking away. And thank you, Mom, for being brave enough to let me run that day. She raised her glass of sparkling cider. To family, the one we're born with and the one we choose. Everyone raised their glasses. To family, As the sun set and the party continued into the evening, Logan danced with both his wife and his daughter. At one point, spinning Madison around while she giggled, he caught Vincent's eye. His best friend smiled and mouthed, "You good?" Logan nodded, feeling tears of happiness prick his eyes. He was better than good. He was home. Later that night, after guests had left and Madison had finally crashed from excitement and sugar, Logan and Amanda stood in the now quiet clubhouse property. Strings of lights still twinkled overhead, and a few remaining embers glowed in the fire pit. "Today was perfect," Amanda said, leaning into Logan's embrace. "It was," he agreed. "Though I think Madison might have eaten her weight in cake." Amanda laughed. "She's going to be impossible to wake up tomorrow." They swayed gently to music only they could hear, comfortable in the silence. "Logan," Amanda said after a while, Do you think other people out there are as scared as I was? Running, looking for help, not knowing if anyone will answer? Probably, too many, I'm sure. Then we should help them too, however we can." Logan pulled back to look at her face. "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking we use our story. Maybe I speak at Mercy House events. Maybe the club expands its outreach. Maybe we create a fund specifically for helping families escape domestic violence. Moving costs, first month's rent, that kind of thing. We had so much help. We should make sure others have that too." Logan smiled, his heart swelling with love for this woman who had survived hell and emerged wanting to help others. "I think that's a perfect idea. We'll talk to the club. I know they'll be on board." "Good." Amanda rested her head on his chest. "I want Madison to grow up knowing that when you receive help, you pay it forward. That we're all responsible for each other. She already knows that. She learns it from you every day." They stood there, holding each other under the desert stars, thinking about the future they were building together. A future rooted in the past, in Logan's loss of Kayla, in Amanda's survival of abuse, in Madison's desperate run for help, but not defined by it, a future full of possibility. Inside the clubhouse, someone had left a copy of the day's program on a table. On the cover was a photo of Logan, Amanda, and Madison, all three smiling at the camera. Below it, a quote that Amanda had chosen. "Family isn't always blood. It's the people in your life who want you in theirs, the ones who accept you for who you are, the ones who would do anything to see you smile and who love you no matter what." Tomorrow would bring new challenges and new opportunities. Madison would keep growing, Logan and Amanda would keep building their life together, and the Desert Riders would keep showing up for people who needed help. But tonight, under the October stars, a family born from crisis and courage celebrated the life they had chosen to build. And it was exactly where they were all meant to be. Did this story touch your heart in some way? If so, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Share your thoughts, your own experiences, or simply let us know what resonated with you. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs a message of hope, and subscribing to our channel for more powerful, true-to-life stories that celebrate courage, resilience, and the human spirit. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that matter. Remember, if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available. You are not alone, and you deserve to be safe. Thank you for watching.